Hello everyone, my name is Con Yiguan and today I will speak about the summary for The Numbers Don't Speak for Themselves, which is chapter 6 in Data Feminism by Catherine D. Nazio and Lauren Klein. So as you know, many people think that data is neutral, like raw material ready to use, but that's not true. Data is more like a dish. It's cooked using the ingredients like social bias and history. If those ingredients are flawed, the result will be too. Take like PrEP a tool meant to be predict crime. It used biased data from past police reports, so it's a fairly targeted African American neighborhoods. The tool was wrong over 99% of the time, but caused real harm by reinforcing racial bias. This shows why we need to dig into where the data comes from and the question it gets before we using it. Zombie data is everywhere. These are data thrown from the internet without explanation or any purpose. Imagine data set rising from graveyard, leaving everyone unsure how to use it. For example, the farmers flood data from the government lacks the details people need to make sense of it. Another case is just like GDELT, database media reported event. It doesn't measure what exactly happens, it measures what the media chooses to report. Without knowing that context, people could easily draw the wrong conclusion. To avoid this, we need tools like data biographies or data sheets. These provides the backstory, who make the data, why and what's missing. Adding context builds trust and help people make smarter decisions. Also, data isn't created equally. It reflects the people and the system behind it. For instance, if you work with Reddit data, you need to know what most Reddit users are young men. Without that knowledge, your conclusions may miss the mark. Simple question like who's collect this and what's missing can help you understand the data more correctly and more accurately. And sometimes people are left out of data are the one we most need them to hear from. Example in chapter 6, at Safe Lab, researchers work with gang-involved youth to study tweets about Chicago violence. Without their input, tweets quoting song lyrics like those from rapper Lil Durk may mislabel as threats. By listening to the life experience of marginalized groups, Safe Lab would avoid harmful mistakes and uncover the real meaning behind the data. This shows how including diverse perspective turns data into a tool of empowerment, not harm. The way we show data is just as important as the data itself. Let's look at the DV bike stations in Chicago. As first, the data seemed to show fewer stations in white neighborhood. But that wasn't the whole story. The city was expanding stations in phases, starting from the underrepresented areas and planning future expansions elsewhere. To avoid this misunderstanding, we need to clear titles and subtitles. So, for instance, for the subtitles, we can add something like face divis by expansion, not discrimination, cost varied station distance citywide. Good framing will avoid confusion and focus on the real story. It also means that shifting attention to what people lack and how to make the system create advantages for others. So, with the sixth principle that we talk about in data feminism, which is focusing on the context, whether it's questioning about the biased data or avoiding zombie data or including diverse perspective, understanding the full story behind the numbers helps us make a better and fairer decision. Without context, Data can do real harm by reinforcing inequality, but with it, we can use data to work toward justice.